Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this week's vlog. Today I'm vlogging because I have the lovely Louise, who is the nutritionist at Connolley's Red Mills, and she's coming to talk to me all about my horse's feed, because it's something that's really important, getting the right nutrition into your horse. And I think she should be arriving just about now. I am here with Harry Barry, and behind me is, who's this? It's Louise.
So today we're going to have a look at the horses. We're going to weigh them using a weigh tape. We're going to condition score them to check are they in the right condition coming into winter. And we're also going to have a chat about their feeding and just make sure that we're covering all our bases as we head into the colder months. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop a weigh tape around him, bottom of the withers. He's quite good, is he?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
He's fine.
And then in close to the girth area, and let's just weigh him there. So that's coming in at 520 kilos,
Cool.
which is fine. So what you need to do is every couple of weeks, just weigh him just to make sure that he's maintaining his condition. And this will tell you kind of any changes, whether he's gaining or losing weight. So now we're going to fat score him. We're going to divide him into 3 areas. We're going to look at the neck, then we're going to look at the back and the ribs, and then finally the hindquarters. So at the top here at their pole, they've got what's called the nuchal ligament, which holds the
what?
The nuchal ligament.
Right.
And usually you know when you've got it because they don't particularly like you squeezing it, and they move their head around. Good boy. It's all right, I'm done. And then we just feel for that the whole way down the neck. Anything above that is fat. So, you know, with little ponies, sometimes you get that cresty neck. Obviously he hasn't got very much fat there at all, which is ideal. And then we run our hand down his neck, and there should be a nice stop at the shoulder. So they shouldn't have a load of fat infilling here at the shoulder. So that's perfect. We've got a nice stop, and you can feel his shoulder blade. So for his neck, I'm going to give him a 3 out of 5, which is ideal. You wouldn't want him any heavier.
Yay.
And you wouldn't want him any lighter.
Well done, Harry. Spot on.
Then we move on to the back. So you place your hand just on the backbone, and you're looking for like a nice curved up down C. So you can see my hand's not lying flat, so that means there's not a lot of fat deposits on either side. There's a nice curve to it. And then down along the ribs, we should be able to feel the ribs quite easily with a little bit of pressure. You shouldn't have to go digging for them. So again, that's absolutely fine. Good see. He has got a little bit of a fat pocket here, but I'm not too worried about that. Obviously, with a little bit more exercise and coming into the winter, he'll be fine. But again, a 3 all over here is absolutely perfect. And then the back side, you're going to be a good boy. So you might want to go behind me if he'll stand still.
Yeah, stand. Stay.
So what we're looking for on the bottom is, again, a nice kind of rounded bum.
I would say that's quite peachy.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful bottom, and actually he's got good muscle down either side. We haven't got lots of fatty deposits at the top of the tailbone, and he's got a really nice shape to it. So again, I'd say he's absolutely perfect.
I can't wait until you see Lara, actually. It's going to be a different story, I think.
So 3 all over, which is absolutely perfect. So we want to try and maintain him at this weight through the winter. Obviously, try and use the weight tape and fat score him every couple of weeks, just so that you can keep a check on him if you're seeing him every day. Sometimes they can gain or lose a bit of weight, and it's harder to notice. So it's a good idea to just keep a check on him.
And now we're going on to Laraghlee. Can I guess?
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to guess 5. I want to say similar to Harry. I want to say 520.
She is 540.
Oh, you are heavier. It's weird because they're such different shapes.
Yeah.
But Is that a big difference? I mean, 20
No,
kilos.
20 kilos on a horse of this sort of size. It's not a huge amount of body weight. And I think weight is one thing. So you also have to kind of use the fat scoring as well to see, you know, how much of that weight is muscle and how much of it is fat. So we're going to do the same thing with her. Start with finding the nuchal ligament. Don't bang your head, darling, when I find it.
Oh, she's a bit more chill. Well, maybe not.
So just feeling down it the same way we did with Harry, and you can see that already the gap kind of between my hand is getting a little bit more. So she definitely does have a bit more
she's a bit
of
crusty.
a fat build-up on top of it. And again, when I put my hand down her neck, you can see there isn't that definite stop that there was. So she definitely has got a little bit of an infill here.
Yeah.
So I don't, you know, it's not massively bad, but she does definitely have a higher fat score. So she's probably between sort of, I would say, just over 3.5, which I wouldn't be too concerned about coming into winter. If we were coming into spring it would be a little bit of a different story. So again, down the back, she has got a C over her back, so she hasn't got a flat back. But I'm having to put a little bit more pressure on to find the...
Where's the ribs,
Laura? They are in there, but there's a little bit more pressure. So again, she's probably a sort of 3.5 on this section. And then let's have a look at your bottom. Her bum's actually nice.
She's got a lovely bum.
Yeah.
She does lose a lot of muscle. That's where she loses it first. And I noticed that here, you get like a point.
Which kind of loses it from the side. Yeah. At the moment, she's got pretty good muscle tone and her bum's actually a lovely shape. So her real risk area is her neck.
Right, okay.
And you need to keep an eye on that in particular, that she's not getting too heavy along the neck. So I know she tends to drop weight in the winter, so I'm not too worried about her carrying a little bit of extra weight going into the colder months, and that will probably come off anyway, and then she can safely regain a little bit of weight coming into the spring.
Now it's Bonnie's turn. Oh, are you happy about this, Bon? No.
Not really. So obviously, being a Welsh, a native type, the concern is always that they're going to get too heavy, too fat.
Yeah.
And then there's the risk of problems like laminitis and equine metabolic syndrome. So I know you've worked really hard to keep her weight under control. So let's see what she actually does weigh.
What's the ideal weight for a pony of her kind of size and breed?
So she's 200, which I think is probably bang on.
Yes!
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah,
good work.
That is good. So again, what we want to do is fat score, and I always pay particular attention to the neck on these native breeds, because they tend to hold their weight
You
there.
can find it.
Yeah. Oh, there we got it. Good girl. So again, she's got a little bit of a crest on there. You can see it's soft.
Yeah.
It's not a hard crest, but there is a little bit of a crest there. I can feel her shoulder.
Yes.
Which is
we
good.
like that, Bonnie.
So I can feel that. Let's have a look at your back. Nice. The other thing to bear in mind is, because she's got a really thick kind of woolly coat coming on already, the condition scoring is really critical, because you can't tell just by looking sometimes whether they've gained or lost body fat. So
have a good feel.
Yeah, have a good feel.
Yeah, your
get
hand
hands on.
is very much sinking into that fluff, isn't it?
Yeah. So sometimes, you know, it can be quite easy for them to lose too much weight during the winter, but you don't notice because the coat's covering up. So every couple of weeks, just get hands on. She's got a little bit of fat cover over there, but I can feel her ribs. And she has got a little bit of a shape over her back. It's not completely flat.
We're not a table, that's good.
No.
She was a bit table-like last year, so I think I've done well to pull that back a bit. How's the booty?
Bum is good.
Yeah?
Yeah, bum is good. So I would say, again, keep an eye on her, but particularly on this neck area, and particularly through this section as well. And ideally what we want to do is use the colder weather in the winter to allow her to lose a little bit of weight, as would happen naturally, you know, if they were out on the Welsh hills, and then she can safely regain some weight in the spring. I'd say she's about right for coming into the winter.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be concerned if she loses a small amount. Obviously, she's only 200 kilos, so we don't want her to lose too much.
She'll waste away.
Yeah, if she loses, 5 to 10 kilos, it's probably not going to be the end of the world. Do keep an eye on it, and we'll just adjust her feeding accordingly so that she remains healthy. She's only young, so yeah, we want to make sure that she doesn't start getting too heavy and too fat. Okay, so Lucy's been doing a fantastic job with the feeding so far this year. Obviously the horses are looking great, and the Performacare Balancer is a brilliant product choice. So it's got very high levels of vitamins, minerals, and very high quality protein. So it's going to make sure they get everything that they need to stay healthy without oversupplying calories, because obviously during the spring and the summer they're out on good grass. They probably don't need a huge amount of calories in their diet. The other thing is it does have the care package in there, so that includes specific ingredients to support hind gut health. It's got a long-lasting natural gastric buffer for the stomach, as well as really high levels of biotin to help support the hoof health. Really like the idea of adding a chaff into the diet. That helps to slow down eating, promote chewing. And then in terms of the supplements, so obviously we're feeding Ostoflex, which is a glucosamine, MSM and marine collagen supplement. That's going to help support joint health. So particularly for Lara, she's getting a little bit older. We want to just make sure that her joints remain healthy. But you can feed it to horses of any age if you just want to make sure that you're keeping their joints.
Like a well-oiled machine.
The other things then that you added in were the table salt. So that's a really good idea on a daily basis, just to add a small amount of table salt into your horse's diet, or you could even just give them a salt lick in their manger. If you are traveling a lot and you're going away competing with the horses, I would say you need to perhaps look at an electrolyte supplement. So that's just going to replace the losses of electrolytes through sweating. And then the last thing you're adding was the NutriCam calmer. So that's a tryptophan based calmer. Is brilliant for horses that you just are maybe a little bit stressy or a little bit anxious. So it's not going to affect performance, but it's just going to help to keep them sort of in an even temperament and perhaps just make them a little bit less anxious, particularly when they're at events. Okay, so we're just having a chat about what we're going to feed all the horses through the winter, particularly if they start to drop a little bit of weight. So what I suggest we look at doing is giving them a product, Connolley's Red Mills product called Cool and Conditioning Cubes. And that is an ultra low starch product, so it's great for horses that can be excitable or a little bit too lively. It's going to help keep their temperament nice and even. Good quality protein again, and higher in calories, so it's going to help them hold their weight through the winter. To start with, you may find that you just introduce it in very small quantities, and obviously you'll need to keep feeding the balancer alongside it if you're just feeding tiny amounts of it. And then we can gradually, if we need to, increase the amount of cool and conditioning cubes that we're feeding and reduce the balancer slightly. And that way we can just adjust the calorie intake, but keep them on a balanced diet depending on how they're looking. So that's why it's so important to keep weighing and fat scoring them on a regular basis, and then we can adjust their feed intake accordingly. So although Lara is carrying a little bit more fat than Harry, we do obviously know that she does tend to drop weight in the winter. So I think it would be appropriate to kind of follow the same regime and introduce a really small amount of the cool and conditioning cubes now. That's going to mean that her digestive system gets used to them, and then if we do find we have to increase the amount that we feed her because she's losing a little bit too much weight, we can do that relatively easily. And that keeps it relatively simple as well. For the two horses, they're both on the same feed, and I think that should work really well. Bonnie, obviously, we do want her to lose a little bit of weight, not too much weight, but a little bit of weight over the winter. So I would think as long as she's getting plenty of hay and her balancer, she's probably actually going to be fine. I don't know that we need to introduce anything else.
No.
But do keep a check on her, as I said, because the woolly coat can hide weight loss. So keep weighing her, keep fat scoring her or condition scoring her, and if we need to, we can look at introducing a little bit of extra calories in there, but that's probably unlikely. I think she's going to do quite well.
Right, so there we go. That is all of the horses weigh taped, fat scored, feed analysis overview. I've been doing the right thing all throughout the summer, which is really reassuring, and the little changes into the winter which I'm going to make just to make sure the horses stay happy, fit and healthy, even during Lara's little downtime, but also through Harry's winter training, and obviously, well, Bonnie needs to stay in good shape, of course, Sue.
If you just want a diet advice about your own horse, you can contact us through the Ask the Expert page on the Connolley's Red Mills website, and if you have a yard with a large number of horses, we can look at getting one of our team out to visit you guys. Obviously that's subject to availability and where in the country that you are. But
Not
yes,
in Australia.
well, we do actually send
Really?
feed out to Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, we supply about 80 countries worldwide. So
Oh, wow.
most places that you go in the world, you
Yeah.
can get red mills. But yeah, the best first port of call is to go through the Ask the Expert page, and usually, to be fair, we can answer most inquiries on email or on the phone, whichever you prefer. And yeah, just get in touch if you've got any questions.
Right, so that is all we have time for today. I think Louise has got some other places to be, very busy lady. If you enjoyed this vlog, make sure you give it a like, leave me a comment below. What do you feed your horses? Are you changing their diet into the winter? Will you have a look at the Red Mills page? Yes, you will. Anyway, thank you again for watching so much. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. Louise, say bye vlog.
Bye.